Today on BFD, we're talking with someone who has some great ideas on prison reform, and he should know. He's a former inmate. You know, it's easy to talk about juvenile incarceration and rehabilitation in the abstract, but with me is someone who actually lived it. Xavier McElrath-Bey, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
First of all, tell us how long you were in prison and what you were charged with.
I was incarcerated for 13 years of my life, from the age of 13 years old up until I was going on 27 years old. The offense was first-degree murder.
So you probably had quite a lot of time to reflect while in prison.
Yeah, I know that, that a life was lost, and I know that it was so morally wrong. I feel like that relationship between me and him still exists because I'm going out and I'm stopping and trying to prevent other kids from doing the same things that I did, which led to his loss. So his life's not in vain, that loss was not in vain.
You've turned your life around, for sure. But at what moment in prison did you look at yourself and realize that you could do things differently?
It meant a lot of introspection, a lot of reflection upon my life. Wondering what life would be like had I done things different. What would my life be had I never, joined a gang?
In a similar vein, what would it be like for you if you had never been given the possibility of parole?
For me, parole was always present. I mean, the possibility of parole was always there. And that gave me a sense of motivation. It made me want to do better. So early on in my incarceration, I got my GED. Then I went and strived towards getting a bachelor's. I got my bachelor's in social science, 4.0 GPA, and I had very good professors that came into the facility where I was incarcerated. They treated us like students that were out in free society.
Now, for people out there, though, are you the exception, or do you think that more kids that were in similar situations as you were could benefit from the kind of things that you did?
I did a study, and in this study, we looked at recidivism and the effects of a post-secondary education upon recidivism. And they came to find, and also through the input that I got from my professor, that only 2% of those who graduated with a bachelor's degree returned to prison within the first 3 years, and which is contrary to the general population, which was close to 50 to 60%.
Wow.
At that particular time.
So those that educate themselves end up not coming back.
Have a less likely to return to prison versus those who do not take advantage of those opportunities, or those who don't have those opportunities.
I see. Just take me really quickly through what that day was like when you were granted parole and you were able to walk out a free man.
For 13 years, a lot has changed.
Sure. And
so for me coming out, I had mixed emotions. When you have a felony conviction, it's hard to find work. Mm-hmm. Those consequences do not end.
Right.
To this very day, I still experience the consequences of my past actions, and I live with them. And I know that I have to live with them.
Then why should people welcome ex-cons back into society? Why is it that you think that these people deserve another chance?
I do believe in my heart that those of whom who want to make a change, believe me, they work 10 times harder than the average person. They go above and beyond. When you hear the word ex-con, it obviously has a very negative connotation to it. People tend to say, oh, that doesn't sound good. To me, in so many ways, for some individuals, ex-con means lack of opportunity, lack of privilege, the concept of least eligibility because of their past actions. But for me, when I hear ex-con, I think of a reason to move forward, because listen to the word ex meaning former. I hear it as someone who has overcome something. He used to be a convict.
Right.
He's no longer a convict. And that is, to me in and of itself, not something to be ashamed of, but something to embrace and to continue to move forward in a positive way.
And you're clearly doing that, and we appreciate you taking the time with us today. Thank you, Xavier.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For more information on Xavier's work, click the link in the description below. And remember, you can sign the petition to put an end to mandatory minimum sentencing. For BFD, I'm David Park.